Hello guys, Tengu here, and we're back with some more Dalsis post-game builds. So before we begin, I'd like to remind you guys to like, subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any questions to help support the channel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin this. So the build we're going to be looking at today is the Alice Battle build. So this build was recommended by one of my viewers, and right on time too, because right now there's an Alice banner going on in the JP servers regarding this build. I decided to take a look at some reference materials regarding this build, and I think this is about as close as we can get to having a Battle Alice in Doll's Nest. So let's go ahead and take a look at the build itself. So first off, we have the SSX as our mobility module. We have the Varchis as our headset module. We have the Takemikazuchi as our hanger module. We have the Epona as our thruster module. We have the Takemikazuchi as our utility module. We have the Javelin as our primary arms 1. We have the Kulum as our primary arms 2. And for both rear arms, we have the Lin Golem 12. And if you're curious for what my color schemes are, I'll go ahead and go through these just to let you know what values we're working with here. Well, let's start with the main. The headset module is going to be a little bit different. So this is going to be main color for the headset module. And if you're wondering what values I'm using for the rear arms, for the primary arms, now let's go over our humanoid form. So I tried to make this as close to Alice as possible, and I think I did a pretty good job with this one. So for our base module, we'll be running the PKG. The back hair module will be running the SSM. For the front hair, we'll be running the NYL. And for the body, we'll be running the Special Gardanian Combat Humanoid set. And if you're wondering what values I'm running, here's the skin color first. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and take this build out for a spin. So we're here at the upturned forest. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about this build. So when I was going into this build, I decided to focus a little bit more into aesthetics and also into some playability with this build. So yeah, in terms of aesthetics, I think I managed to nail down the Alice quite well. It was a little bit hard trying to focus on the hanger, as Alice kind of has her own hangers with her battle suit, but at the same time I feel like I managed to nail it down as best I could. I was thinking about going with the Eponas with the hangers, but I decided not to because well, just didn't have enough wings, unfortunately. Just not enough wings. Then I decided, you know what, why not go for the Takemikazuchi's utility module? And then it dawned on me that maybe I should just go for the hanger module and the utility module for the aesthetics, as in go with the Takemikazuchi's. As for the headset, well, if you looked at Alice's art, you may have noticed that the Varchis and her headset in-game tend to match quite a bit well, so I decided to go for the Varchis. The unfortunate thing about the Varchis is it doesn't have very good melee proficiency, but it does have good lock-on range. So, if anything, this goes pretty well with the javelin. Which, by the way, I decided to go with this because this weapon is pretty close to what Alice uses in Blue Archive. That is. Not to mention, it kind of hits pretty hard, at least on normal mode. And as for the Lin Golems, I was actually thinking about going for, what was it, defense? But I decided not to because, well, one, I've noticed that during Alice's skill, she actually, well, more particularly EX skill, she actually charges up her attack. So I decided, you know what, let's just go for the Lin Golem. Lin Golems are pretty powerful on their own, and they do quite a bit of damage. Again, that's about anything I can think of. Plus, you don't have to reload these too often because, well, gun just has like infinite reload. It's pretty nice for this gun. Pretty nice. Also, did I mention you can charge these? You can also charge it. And not to mention the charge animation for this is pretty snazzy. Also, once you're fully charged, you can very easily one-shot enemies. Like, I know I hit this enemy from the back, but you can hit enemies from any directions and still one-shot them. One-shot them pretty easily. Like, the only enemies you might have some trouble with one-shotting are perhaps some of the elites, but as long as you keep your distance, you should be fine. And did I mention that the gameplay strat for this build focuses on keeping your distance from enemies? Yeah, in general, you kind of have to want to stay away from enemies and make sure they don't engage you first, because with defense, while it does have a very powerful charge attack, you're going to want to keep your distance while you're charging, just so you can get it off easily. Also, you have use of your Coolum as well, so if you somehow manage to run out of BP, you can get behind enemies and hit them in the back for more BP. But I think the Coolum is more of a fallback with this build. And if you're wondering why I decided to go with the Coolum, it's because Alice is a Gundam now, and it only makes sense for a Gundam to have an energy sword. Because all Gundams have energy swords. Well, most of them. But regardless, yeah, you generally just want to keep your distance from enemies and just try to get your charge attack off. Or do anything. As you can see, this build is quite powerful. Quite powerful. Oh, granted, we are in the upturn towards, and a lot of the enemies are a little bit on the weak side, but at the same time, they also have pretty high thermal resist, so despite all that, this build tends to overpower things quite a bit, easily. If there's any problem that I would have with, or that you would have with this build is probably its survivability. This build is a little bit on the weak side when it comes to defense, so you're going to want to be very mobile when it comes to just fighting enemies in general. Very mobile. Try not to get hit by the enemy in general, essentially. Okay, that might not be too much of a problem if your enemies jump off cliffs, or if you keep your distance from enemies, like so. Let's see if I can get a lock on you. Also, it kind of helps to aim at the enemy. Alright, let's get rid of this. That kind of helps if you just aim at them. Oh, and he's already locked onto me. Hey, am I sure I'm not playing on hard mode? I don't think I am. Okay, some of you guys have pretty good lock on range. Fairly good. But yeah, generally with this build, you kind of want to keep your distance and just try to get a lock on from afar. Once you do that, just use your Lin Golems, charge all the way, and just snipe your opponents from afar. That's the general gameplay strat. And yeah, if your opponent manages to survive both the Lin Golems, you can always finish them off with the Javelin. And if you just run out of BP in general, you do have the Coolum to fall back to. That's generally the play of this build. Generally. But regardless, I think it's time for us to call it quits here. So if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any questions or build recommendations. I am willing to listen to your recommendations, and I might try to implement them if I can. So yeah, I feel like this build is about as close as you can get to Battletoad Alice in a Doll's Nest. Pretty good. It has the right aesthetics, and the gameplay is more or less on point. But again, yeah, I feel like this build is a little bit more focused on aesthetics over gameplay. But still, you give this build a try for yourselves. So without further ado, this is going to be Tengu signing off. Goodbye!